Hi, my name is Bailey Gagnon, and I will be presenting on leader-member exchange theory in regards to the human resources frame, the transformational change process, and how it can apply to higher education. So to start off with, we will be looking at a definition of leader-member exchange theory, or LMX. So you may be asking, what is LMX? According to the Oxford Handbook of Leader-Member Exchange, LMX theory is the foremost relational approach to leadership, placing an emphasis on the relationship between a mentor leader and a chosen member. The reason this member is chosen is because within LMX, there consists of an in group and an out group of members, with leaders favoring specific employees, groups, and or teams. Within LMX, leaders form high quality, trust, affect, and respect based relationships with a part of their team, their in group. In group members in organizations have been found to be more likely to develop improved self-esteem, increased interest in research, and or enhanced productivity. So an in-group is the group of members, employees, students that tends to get along more naturally with a leader. They tend to strive a little bit harder. They tend to intentionally pursue a relationship with the leader. And they have been found to be more successful because of this. Out groups, or the other half of the relationship dyad that is found in LMX, are the students or employees who may not get along as well with a manager or who may not have naturally clicked as well. They may not fit as well into an organization. The way that in-group and out-group are defined within LMX is a dyadic relationship. You're either in the in-group or the out-group, but both are necessary to have LMX. So now that we have a kind of basic understanding of LMX, we're going to look at how LMX works within the human resources frame. So the human resources frame, according to Bowman and Deal, is really focused on the skills, attitude, energy, and commitment of the employees. It has to do with how an organization is driven by the people who work for it and how the vision and goals of an organization are achieved through the people. LMX, when applied within the human resources frame, really focuses on that one-on-one relationship between employees and leaders and develops the sense of belonging that human resources frame seeks to create. It really emphasizes the importance of the leader and how they educate a member on organizational culture and how they bring a member into an organization. Both LMX and the human resources theory want to create a sense of belonging in a healthy, developing workplace. One of the ways that LMX creates that sense of belonging that the human resources frame is looking for is through that one-on-one chosen relationship of a person in the in group of a leader. When a leader encourages and guides a member into an organization, they have easier transition. They tend to have a much better first couple years in an organization. They start to feel like they really fit in and have an influence where they work because they have that mentorship based relationship. One of the ways that LMX creates that healthy workplace that the HR frame is seeking is that it expands the in group to include most of the employees. It works really hard, and an organization will work really hard to encourage leaders to invest in those underneath them. And by investing in those people underneath them, they're able to develop stronger relationships, a stronger tie and commitment of loyalty to an organization, and a stronger sense of becoming an important aspect of an organization as an individual and as a team member. The HR frame is so focused on the ways that we relate to one another and the ways that we build in an organization. And LMX's ultimate goal is to form bonds between leaders and members and drive that forward. And that is just a couple of the main reasons that LMX and the HR frame go together. Now we're going to look at LMX and the transitional change that is explained by J.P. Cotter, and we're particularly going to look at the ways that a strong leadership base can help move an organization through a time of change. So one of the key things in developing an organization that can go through change well is really focusing on that in-group of LMX. LMX really wants to develop in-group members that have a higher rate of change-oriented behaviors than other people. Some things that define a change-oriented behavior or someone who is well versed to enter into change is having a creative performance drive. They tend to be more empowered as employees, and they tend to have a very active participation in their career. They're very willing to think about the future and think about how they fit into this organization, whether that's in the job they have now or looking forward. They feel that they are confident in their position and confident in the vision of the organization they're a part of because they're being communicated well to and they're being developed by the leader that is over them. One of the key things of LMX that really helps in transitional change is the training of leaders. When you train leaders to imbue values such as empowerment or confidence or even creativity in the people under them, they're more willing to go through change and go through the difficulties of an organization because they feel like they have a valued and important addition to bring to the organization. Developing leaders to empower members increases change weathering behaviors. LMX is so focused on using the leader to develop the member, but we also need to remember that all leaders are also members. Whether you're the president of a university who answers to a board, or a resident assistant who answers to a resident director, or even if you're the manager of the local McDonald's, you have corporate to answer to. You're always a member, even when you are a leader. And so when all leaders directly pour into developing their members to be empowered and creative and have these change-oriented behaviors, we really see LMX pushing forward transitional change. All right, so now that we kind of understand how LMX fits into the HR frame and transitional change, I really want to focus on the impactfulness of leader-member exchange on higher education. So the two main areas that I want to focus of the benefits of LMX in higher education are success and adjustment. That being the success and adjustment of students. So collegiate students who are part of an LMX relationship with a professor or another higher education leader have been found to have increased odds to succeed academically and socially, and are found to have links between success because they have an obligation to the leaders they respect. They have an obligation to work hard for the leaders and professors who are pouring into them. It's so important to understand that LMX in collegiate settings, when you're using it to empower and encourage creative thinking and to focus on the relationships between people, can create more proactive and thoughtful leaders and managers. When we're looking at the success of students, there's a study put out by Alan Lee and Gerbasi that talks about the importance of the relationship with a professor in regards to midterm grades. When you have a stronger relationship to the professor who's teaching you or who's guiding you through college, you have a stronger inclination to succeed because you feel that that professor has poured into you and you want to show them the respect they deserve. It's also been found that when you have a peer mentor or a student leader who's pouring into you as you go through the beginnings of college, you have a higher rate of success academically, looking at grade point averages. That brings me to adjustment. LMX relationships are so key to adjusting to college for the first time. Improved self-esteem, increased interest in research, and or enhanced productivity are all aspects that prove and provide the reasoning behind intentionally engaging in LMX relationships as a student and as leaders looking at students. Students who came into college without any LMX relationships were found to have higher dropout rates and found to have uh, less connections and loyalty to the campus they were on. Some of the benefits that are listed on this slide help contribute to a student's success in adjusting to the shock of beginning college, not just the initial shock, but also the secondary shock. So, not just, oh no, I've moved into college and I don't know what to do, but also, oh no, it's midterms and I have no idea how to take a college exam. I don't know who to turn to. When you have that LMX relationship, or when you're encouraging those LMX relationships in an organization, you're really saying, hey, as a leader, can you help this person transition well? And that really helps with retention by creating a relationship that helps improve aspects of mental health, empowerment, self esteem, and confidence. Leaders are providing a path for in group students to succeed. And by putting students within an in group, by saying that in groups also apply to collegiate level learners, you're also saying that it's important for college level students to have community. And ultimately, that is the goal of LMX in higher education, is to encourage a community in which a leader or a mentor, a professor, an RA, an RD who is over students is getting them connected and helping them feel equipped and uh, empowered to succeed in college. So now that we've looked at the ways that LMX connects to the HR frame, transitional change, and higher education, I hope that you have a stronger understanding of leader member exchange, and that as you look around in your daily life, you begin to see the people who are pouring into you as leaders and the areas in which you're a member, and also how you're pouring into people who are under you who are members as a leader, and continue to encourage them to feel empowered, continue to encourage them to learn and adjust well, continue to encourage them to build relationship and seek that out, and that you feel encouraged to do the same things as well. Thank you so much for listening to this presentation. I hope that you have a wonderful day. Thank you.